One thing that a lot of people don't talk about is loss and just going through the grieving process. And we recently lost our father. Well, it's their father and my stepfather, but he was like a father to me. So we definitely wanted to share our experience because we know people go through this and sometimes you don't have somebody they can look to and see how they can press through. So with that, like, why have you decided, Zaire, first to follow the Lord? Like, why still Christ despite of everything that's happening?
Because he's my father, savior.
Absolutely.
When I had a bad time, I pray on him to come help me out. When my father passed away, I'll call him and
That's all right. And Mia, you too. Why not anything else? Why did you choose Christ?
I wasn't really focusing on my relationship with him. I was kind of stressed out and depressed because, I mean, I lost my dad, so I was dealing with like a lot of anxiety. But then a few days later, I realized like without him, like I was lost. So I wanted to have my relationship and feel better and move forward.
I didn't know my light would dim so easily, not much pain, my life forever changed, an indelible stain on my reflection of perfection. At the age of 7, while I studied my Sunday school lessons so I could get to heaven, now God, how will I get in?
About the age of 6, I spent the night over at my aunt's house, and I remember that night vividly because I was a guy, they had another guy wash me up. And from the age of about 6 to 11, this guy pretty much manipulated my mind to make me believe that this is normal. And for a while, I struggled with the idea of what was wrong with me. Why was it me? That out of all the people you could have picked, you picked me. Out of all the things you could have done, you did that to me. And somewhere along the line, God literally had to sit it with me. Like, you either gonna forgive this person or you're gonna live with a grudge all your life, live confused all your life, live stressed out all your life, live scared all your life that your family would know that something happened to you, not because of you. And eventually I had to just get over it. I knew I was over it when he came to the church. I shook his hand, asked him how he was doing.
And finally, I could breathe in me. The breath I had been holding, waiting for apologies I would never receive, those lost moments I couldn't retrieve, and my cemented heart began to bleed redemptive blood, Christ in me. For if he could lay down his crown, then I could lay down my grudge and embrace them in his love. For what did it profit me? My soul lost and the world gained, them prisoners in unforgiveness, but I was the one held down by these chains.
He got engaged and planned the whole wedding, and I didn't know.
Wow.
And he was getting married in June, and I found out in February. And around May, I started having a meltdown because I was like, he's going to do this. And that is when I started having everybody was talking about me so bad because you can't flick love on and off. So everybody was talking about me because I knew better. I didn't want to keep doing it, but I loved him. But I would get in church and I needed God so bad. I didn't care that everybody knew my business. I would get in there and I would be crying and I would be laying under the pew. Nobody had touched me. I'd be up dancing. I'd be rolling under the benches. Church would be over. I'd still be sitting there crying. And people was laughing at me, but God was delivering me in front of them.
That's right.
And that's really when I started having a real relationship with God. It was in the middle of me being involved in adultery.
But in this desert of my desires, bitter grapes intoxicate and their wine skin. So I was dragged around the rock, cycling ancestral sins, defeated by ant-sized giants, dropping contemplative crumbs of confusion.
You finally found your worth. Your worth wasn't in not wearing half-naked clothes. Your worth wasn't in money. Your worth wasn't in trips. Your worth wasn't in cars. Your worth is in this very moment when you're free and you can be free. As long as you allow God to continuously allow yourself to go through the process.
Pain isn't always selective, but Christ is selective and redemptive, and he selected me, my gender and identity. Before I was born, he knew me, he formed me, and he made me woman.